Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the SA Moves Foundation workshop on exercise and diet and personal mental attitude. And we've got a great program lined out for you today. And we've had a lot of people working on this for the last several months. And hopefully you'll get value out of it. And the format is maybe a little different than you've experienced before. It's going to be mostly questions and answers. So as you're sitting there listening to some of the comments and some of the information that you receive, be thinking about questions that you want to ask about either exercise or diet or how to live with a positive attitude and the mind-body connection that makes life easier to live and will generate greater health and better wellness in your personal lives. So thank you for being here this morning.
It's right here. It looks like you came out of the space station.
That's good. It works. Let me tell you just a little bit about the SA Moves Foundation. SA Moves was chartered in 2013, about 5 years ago, with the goal of increasing the knowledge and awareness in both the community of people that are living with diseases like Parkinson's or Huntington's or cervical dystonia or Tourette syndrome, movement disorders in general, and also in increasing knowledge and awareness in the medical community. So the organization called CREED is the medical community outreach part of SA Moves, and SA Moves in general is focused on increasing knowledge and awareness in the general community on how to live with and manage movement disorders. And the goal is to make sure that you have the knowledge and the resources and the capabilities that you need in order to live well with a movement disorder, regardless of what it is. And if you're a care partner for someone with a movement disorder, to arm you with the knowledge to be a good care partner. And so that's why we're here. That's what we do. We partner with a lot of different organizations in the local area. We actually don't provide support groups, but we support organizations that do provide support groups, like Warm Springs Hospital, APDA, the Lone Star Parkinson Society, the Hills of Texas Society up in Vernon, and also organizations around South Texas and in many parts of the country that provide support group operations. And we provide speakers and knowledge and programs to enhance the ability of support group organizations to reach out to you and give you the knowledge and the information that you need in order to live well. So thank you for being here this morning. I'd like, if you don't mind, to spend just a minute talking about some of the folks that helped make today possible. Your board of directors, and the two that you probably don't need an introduction to are medical directors, Dr. Eric Pappert, movement disorder specialist, and Dr. Vicki Alvarez, also a movement disorder specialist. There are two medical directors, and Dr. Pappert is the founder of SA Moves, and he directs all medical operations in coordination with Dr. Alvarez. I'm part of the board of directors as well, and probably no need for an introduction to Tony. Everybody knows Tony. Tony is the research manager and the medical assistant to the Neurology Associates medical practice, and also a vice president for the SA Moves board. In addition to Tony, Melinda Rodriguez with AQTS is a vice president, and Patty Flores is the secretary. So that comprises the officers of the board. And then we have board members, Beth Irwin, Jennifer Penn from UIW, Sheila Dupre, Cindy Miller, Mary Deschler, Claire Holzhausen, Omar Echeverria, and Rocky Marin, and Jim Morris. And these are all the board members. And then we've got a very extensive advisory panel for the organization, comprised of Nydia Darby, Gemma Escalante, Susan Blackwood, Maria Ellis, Becky Renard, Paige Webster, Christina Essie, Faye Schellenrock, Scott Verstuft, Kathy Schwartz. Jim Morris is also a member of the advisory panel. Pat Boykin, Jeff Lewis, Michelle Garza, and Steve Hogue. And these folks provide a lot of their own personal time and contribute their talents and expertise to create events like the one that you're able to take advantage of today. So if you wouldn't mind joining me, giving them a round of applause. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. We're going to talk about exercise. We're going to talk a lot about exercise. And we're going to talk about diet. We're going to talk about how to live well, how to keep your mind and your body in sync, and with a focus of using the resources that you have available to you to live as good a life as you can every day. And we're also going to talk about some of the medical and surgical interventions that are associated with managing some of these diseases. And we're going to talk a little bit, and you're going to talk a lot, because you're going to get a chance to ask questions. So as I said before, think about the questions that are important to you, and be ready to ask those questions, because you're going to have an opportunity to do that. You're also going to have an opportunity to walk out of here with some stuff. We're going to raffle some things off. If you don't have a raffle ticket, then by the time that we get to the raffle, you should have one. And the way that you get one is to fill out a registration form. Or if you're already registered with SA Moves, then just wave your hand and we'll bring you a ticket. So if you don't have a raffle ticket, then by all means, now's the time to get one, because we're going to be raffling off not only some exercise equipment and some gift certificates and some little bits and pieces of interesting things that our contributors have given to us. We're going to raffle off an exercise bicycle, a recumbent bike, and the way that works is that we don't have it here. We're going to ship it directly to your house, along with an assembly and an installation and a setup service that's associated with it. So you don't have to stick it in the back of your Dodge Neon or whatever. But we'll ship it to your house, and you'll have a chance to take advantage of that. And so that's we'll do that periodically during the course of the next 2.5 to 3 hours. And what I'd like to do now is to turn the mic over to Tony. Tony loves the mic, so I'm gonna let him talk about our sponsors and kick off the program. But once again, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for being here. The fact that you're here means that you're interested and that you're committed and that you're dedicated to learning about your conditions and to living the best life that you can. And I salute you for that. And so let's get on with it.
Parkinson's birthday. So we want to have a big round of applause for the sponsors for today. Without them, the function's not possible. So if you'll notice there, we sort of broke them out as see fit. Also, when you take a break or whatever, if you need to go to the bathroom, we're really lucky this time because they're right in the room with us. So take a stroll to the restroom, but also go down and meet and greet everybody who's down there. And even at the course of the end of the day, okay? But we really want to thank all of them. Have a big round of applause for this time. Most of you know, but some of you don't. We cover it each time. If you go to samoves.com, you will find all the resources that you need. You will get all of the area support groups, and they're constantly changing the times and dates, and I try to keep it up to date so that you know where to go. So you don't just have to call somebody, you can go and look there. And usually their flyer and everything is there too, so you can just download or up the picture. We're having about a 40% success rate when we do email blasts to send to you, and I'd like to see it get higher. So if you actually get an email from us, open it. Don't check to make sure it's not in your spam, because then what happens is you come into the office and you say, I didn't know about it, I didn't hear about it, and we go back and find that you actually did get an email, you just never opened it. So I always try to make the subject line pretty clear so that when you see it, so maybe from now on we think about it and we come up with a code word that's the first thing on there so that you know it's not spam when you get it, okay? But again, there's all kinds of resources there, and there's also articles that I give to Dr. Papert and Dr. Alvarez all the time. Some latest news, it might be on dementia, it might be on a new drug, it might be on a new therapy. There's a program that Dr. Papert would like for us to look at that talks about improving your walking and your gait, and all of that information will end up there on the site. So it's a great resource tool for you, and it's not just for Huntington's, it's for all of the movement disorders. And we're going to start off the program today with a very special gift from one of the panel members, Nina Darby, who's going to lead us in a yoga stretch and breathing exercise.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let me get this over here. Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you to everyone for this collaborative effort. This is amazing that you all came through, right? The weather didn't seem good earlier. But what a better day to be indoors. We're going to do something that's so important that you might not understand just how important this is. We're going to start off with a breathing practice. And so, wherever you are right now, sit back in your chair. And if you will, sit back and see if you can have your feet anchored firmly on the floor. And sit your bottom back and just let your spine rest back on the chair. And at this time, you can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever you choose, because we're going to bring our attention to 3-part diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, big words, right? We're going to breathe. So right now, while you're sitting, if you can, close your mouth and feel the breath moving in and out very gently through your nose. If you have sinus and you can't do that, that's okay. Just breathe however you can. Now, as you are breathing, gently inhaling and exhaling, I want you to bring your right hand to your abdomen, the area below your belly button, your lower abdomen. And as you're breathing gently in and out, I'd like you to feel the sensation of the belly rising as you inhale and the belly falling. Belly rise as you inhale. This is the first part of the movement that we want to pay attention to while we're breathing. Your abdomen rises and falls. There's another part, second part, that will move. And if you'll take your left hand and bring it to your left side waist, your rib cage. And now you feel, as you inhale, the belly rises and the ribs expand. And as you exhale, the ribs fall and the belly falls in. Inhale, belly and ribs expand. Exhale, everything just drops. Continue breathing like this. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, feel it drop. There's no need to force. Just inhale, whatever comes in, and exhale. There's another part of your body that moves when we're breathing, and that is the chest. So the right hand that was on your abdomen, bring it up to your chest up high. So that as you're sitting, breathing gently, just notice, gentle inhale, the belly, the ribs, and the chest expand. And as you exhale, everything drops. Inhale, expansion. And exhale, everything drops. Continue to feel the sensation. Now, if your arms are getting tired, just put them down on your thighs. You can keep them where they are. Just feel the sensation, the rhythm. Inhale gently and exhale. If you choose, you can begin to deepen the exhalation. Inhale gently and exhale. Continue breathing gently. Inhale and exhale. This This particular practice can be used at any time. If you're ever in a hurry, if you're ever stressed, overwhelmed, you need to bring yourself down, calm, relax. All you have to do is bring your attention to your breath. Now, while you're breathing, if you would like to join me, we're going to gently turn to your right side. Just turn gently from your body, your torso, and keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. And now turn back center. Inhale and exhale. Now turn to your left. Inhale and exhale. And come back center. Inhale and exhale. Hands on your thighs. Draw your shoulders back. Move them down. Find your breath. Inhale and exhale. Now, the real truth is I could have you here for 3 hours doing breathing and stretching, but we have real important information to share with you. So let's start with this. But during your presentations here, as you're listening, when you get ready to ask a question, if you're feeling a little nervous, take a breath, inhale and exhale, and ask that question, because we're going to be so interested to hear your question, and we want to do the best that we can to answer. As panel members, we're also going to take a breath too. Thank you for following along. I want to share with you that I have a handout at our booth with these instructions and video on demand with this exact practice that you just did. So you can come and do that at any time at your own home. So, Tony, that's what I got. I think that we're ready for this.
So good morning, everyone. I'm Eric Pappert. I'm one of the medical directors of the SA Moves, along with my colleague, Dr. Alvarez, and I'm proud to have an esteemed panel today with me to go over the topics, answer questions from the audience. I also will be asking questions directly to the panel members, so please be prepared for the unknown panel members. And I'd like to start with just a brief introduction of our panel today. And we're going to start over here and move our way around the table and back. So please introduce yourself.
My name is Jennifer Penn. I am a physical therapist and a neurological clinical specialist. I have spent most of my career involved in research for Parkinson's, and I currently am an assistant professor at the University of the Incarnate Word. I'm teaching in our physical therapy program and starting out some Parkinson's research at the university there. We also have a community clinic. We do pro bono services for individuals who don't have insurance at that facility as well. So we still remain active in treatment at the same time. Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer.
My name is Yankov. I'm a neurologist in private practice, also sleep specialist. And I started medical school in '68 when there is nothing known about Parkinson or the disease. We have one herb invented in 1955 by a berger in the mountains in Bulgaria. It was the only medication for 30 years before, in 1961, they discovered the L-Dopa. That's why I'm very old in the practice. I'll be very happy to help you with any questions.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vicky Alvarez. I'm gonna just stand up so people on the left side can see me. So along with Dr. Pappert, we practice in Stone Oak. I am a movement disorder specialist as well, and I've been a Parkinsonologist for 10 years now. So thank you for coming.
Hey everybody, I'm Ricketta Nerone. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist associate. I'm private practice down at the Pearl, and I specialize in medical family therapy, so chronic illness, chronic pain, autoimmune disorders, that kind of thing.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Garcia. I'm a licensed psychologist, but my specialty is neuropsychology. So, some of you, actually, a lot of you, I would probably end up seeing. Basically, what I do is I test cognitive functioning. So, if your neurologists ever have questions about your cognitive strengths and weaknesses, I would be the person that you would see. So I also work alongside Dr. Papper and Dr. Alvarez at our Stone Oak location at Neurology Associates. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Karen Martin. Mic check, is this it?
Can't hear you.
Mic check. Mic check. Good morning, my name is Karen Martin, and I've been a dietitian for 33 years. And I work in the department, the neuromuscular department at the Health Science Center with ALS and other motor neuron disorders. And I'm also in home infusion with a mental infusion and work with a lot of neuromuscular patients there as well. And I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you, Karen.
Good morning, me again. I'm Corey King. I'm wearing two hats today. I'm the president of the SA Moves Foundation, but I'm also a Davis Finney Foundation ambassador. And if you're not familiar with the Davis Finney Foundation, it's a foundation created by a medal-winning Olympic cyclist and Tour de France stage-winning bicyclist who was diagnosed with Parkinson's at age 40 and created a foundation to promote living well every day with Parkinson's disease. And so I'm here amongst this illustrious panel of experts as a layperson to talk about living with Parkinson's, my experiences as a patient. I have young onset Parkinson's disease, and I've been diagnosed for about 10 years or so. So the only expertise that I have really is in living, and so that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Lori.
Hi, I'm Nikki Darby. We breathed earlier together. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and I'm the owner of Nydia's Yoga Therapy Studio in San Antonio, Texas. Here, a little booth over there, I brought some of the teachers that work with me, and so you're going to have access to 3 studios in San Antonio that actually can offer you some modified practices. I'm so excited to be here. Movement and breath are powerful medicine, and I'm looking forward to our communicating and helping you along that path.
Thank you, Nydia.
I'm going to stand like Dr. Alvarez. My name is Melinda Rodriguez. I'm a doctor of physical therapy too. I am the Senior Executive Director of AQTS Warm Springs Home Health. We specialize in Parkinson's and movement disorder conditions. I am also Lee Silverman Voice Treatment Think Big certified. I am the Vice President of SA Moves. I come here as proud to be in the panel, but I am also a care partner. My father got diagnosed with Parkinson's 2 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda.
Hi, I'm Kathy Schwartz. And like some of these guys, I know a lot of you from working with you in therapy. I'm a licensed physical therapist. I'm also LSPT certified for BIG. And I have 30 years of experience working primarily with neurological patients, and in recent years, a lot with Parkinson's. And all of the physical therapists on the panel here go back to the days when the medical community didn't even recognize exercise as being beneficial for Parkinson's patients 30 years ago. So none of us, I'm sure, ever signed off on that opinion. But it was the truth. So we know now that was not correct, and I'm excited about sharing what I know about exercise and Parkinson's with y'all today. And good to always have a little reunion with former patients when we come to these things.